Federal law says ground beef must be 100% beef. The tray in front of you says ground beef, and the plant can still add ammonia-washed scraps and call it ground beef. Both statements are true in the store on the same day, and that gap has a name you will not find on the package. Look at the case and find the cheapest tray that says ground beef. Nothing on the front looks wrong, and the price and the color look right. On December 21, 2018, the rule that controls that label changed without a press conference or a new line on the package. Picture what changed and why no one told you. What can now hide inside a package that still says only ground beef? Start with the scrap itself and the thin sheet of meat and fat that stays on the bone after steaks and roasts come off. For decades, that sheet went to rendering and became cooking oil in dog food, and no one tried to put it back in a burger. A company in South Dakota found a way to use it. It warmed the trimmings and fed them into a centrifuge that throws off the fat. What stays is lean beef at 94 to 97% lean, and then the plant gasses it with a cloud of ammonium hydroxide. That gas is ammonia mixed with water, and it kills E. coli and other pathogens on contact, and the result is pink and soft. It smells of ammonia if you stand close, and inside USDA, a microbiologist reviewing the process wrote an email in 2002. He called the product pink slime and wrote that he did not consider it ground beef, and his name was Gerald Zernstein. For 10 years, that pink material sat inside ground beef across the country with no label listing it. The maker was Beef Products Inc. in Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. In March 2012, ABC News ran a series of reports that used the name pink slime on air. Orders fell by 80% in weeks, and Beef Products closed 3 of its 4 plants and 700 workers lost jobs. The company sued ABC for $1.9 billion for defamation. The case went to trial in South Dakota, and on June 27, 2017, it settled for an undisclosed amount. The company said it felt vindicated, and then it wanted the name back. On December 21, 2018, it got it after Food Safety and Inspection Service spent about 17 months reviewing the process. The service ruled the product was not different enough to need a separate name. Beef Products told suppliers that day its signature product would be labeled simply as ground beef. Before that, USDA had called it a qualified component of ground beef since 1994, which meant it could be mixed in. After 2018, the maker could drop the long name entirely. Read the federal rule that says ground beef shall consist of chopped fresh or frozen beef with or without seasoning. It shall not contain more than 30% fat, and it shall not contain added water, phosphates, binders, or extenders. Lean, finely textured beef meets that line because it is beef and it is lean, so it does not have to be listed separately. The law allows a voluntary note, and a company could print contains lean, finely textured beef if it wants, but almost none do. Stand in the aisle and picture 2 chubs that both say ground beef and both show 90% lean. One contains the ammonia-treated trimmings and one does not. The price gap is about $1 a pound while the package gap is 0. You cannot tell by color and you cannot tell by cooking. In 2012, Zernstein estimated about 70% of supermarket ground beef contained it. In March 2012, USDA let school districts choose ground beef without it after parents protested. That is the first time the word beef on a package does not mean what you think it means. With 2 words on a frozen box, let a factory legally pump in water and soy. Walk to the freezer aisle and pull 2 boxes from the shelf, where one says ground beef patties and one says beef patties. 2 words look the same on the front, but federal law says they are not the same food. The answer is in 9 CFR 319.15. Paragraph A says ground beef shall be chopped fresh or frozen beef with or without seasoning, and shall not contain more than 30% fat. It shall not contain added water, phosphates, binders, or extenders, and that is the wall that keeps ground beef simple. Paragraph C says beef patties shall be chopped fresh or frozen beef with or without beef fat and seasonings. Then it adds that binders may be used with or without added water. Mechanically separated meat or partially defatted beef fatty tissue may also be added, and water is cheap and soy protein concentrate is cheaper than beef. Look at a beef patty ingredient line. It reads beef, water, beef hearts, textured soy flour, seasoning, salt, spices, dextrose, and onion powder. Flip a box that says ground beef patties, and the line should read beef and seasoning. Flip a box that says beef patties and you may see that longer list. Put both in the hot pan and water comes out. The beef patty shrinks more and the pound you bought cooks down to 11 ounces. The price per pound looked low and the price per cooked ounce is not. And the switch is legal and that is why it stays. What number missing from the fresh tray makes that meat the hardest to trace when E. coli hits? That number sits inside a small circle on every federally inspected package, so look close inside the USDA mark of inspection. You will see EST followed by digits, such as EST 4027, EST 46841, and EST 1063. And that is the EST number. It names the plant that ground the beef, and it is the map inspectors use when people get sick. In June 2025, a plant called NPC Processing contacted Food Safety and Inspection Service. It said ground beef it shipped to Whole Foods tested positive for E. coli 0157, H7. The beef was Organic Rancher 85% lean in 1-pound vacuum packs. The packs carried EST 4027 and use or freeze by dates of June 19 and 20, 2025, and the alert could name the plant quickly. In 2022, HelloFresh shipped meal kits with ground beef labeled EST 46841, and 6 people were interviewed and all had eaten that beef. That EST made the warning precise, and now look at the tray ground fresh in the store where staff grinds chubs from a larger bag. That bag had an EST, but the new tray often has no circle and no EST, and the store is exempt as a retailer. Since December 2015, the store must keep a grinding log instead, and the log must list source EST numbers and lot numbers. It must list the names of source materials and the date and time each lot was ground, and the grinder was cleaned. That log stays in a binder in the back room, not on the package. If you buy that tray and get sick a week later, you have no EST to match to a recall notice. Cargill at Fort Morgan made beef on June 21, 2018 later, linked to an E. coli 026 outbreak. Cargill did not recall 132,606 pounds until September 19, and shoppers with no EST on the tray had nothing to check. Here is where most people settle, because they think the fix is simple. Buy lean, buy all natural, and pay $1 more. The label nudges you there, so look closer at what USDA says natural actually means. USDA says natural means no artificial ingredients and minimally processed, with nothing more added, and natural does not address hormones. It does not address antibiotics, synthetic pesticides, or genetically modified organisms, and an animal can still be sold as all natural. That is true if the meat after slaughter has no added color and is only minimally processed. The Economic Research Service found shoppers are skeptical, yet many believe the claim meant no antibiotics or hormones were used. That belief is incorrect, and the policy is narrow because natural covers how meat is processed after slaughter, not how the animal was raised. If you want no hormones or antibiotics, you need different phrases such as raised without antibiotics or no added hormones. Those claims need documents reviewed by USDA, and natural needs far less. The shortcut fails because buying the lean all-natural tray does not guarantee better beef, and testing shows the assumption is not true. The ammonia-treated trimmings are 94 to 97% lean. A plant can add that lean material to a fattier blend and still hit 90% lean on the front. You paid for lean and got lean in part from the additive you meant to avoid. You paid for all natural and got the same additive because natural does not ban it. The reason that shortcut fails is not the label, but who grinds the beef, because 4 companies control about 85% of fed cattle processing. 2 are foreign-owned. JBS from Brazil is the largest meat packer in the world. National Beef is controlled from Brazil, while the other 2 are Cargill and Tyson Foods. That share was about 36% in 1980, and today it is about 85%. The White House and the Departments of Agriculture and Justice said so again in 2025. The Justice Department is now investigating those 4 for exchanging sensitive information and fixing prices. Prosecutors are seeking whistleblowers and sent civil demands to the 4. Inspection is real. E. coli 0157, H7 has been an adulterant in ground beef since 1994, and 6 more Shiga toxin-producing E. coli types were added in 2012. Plants run hazard analysis and critical control points, and that system does catch contamination before it ships, which is why you see recalls at all. But concentration turns a single error into a national recall, and in June 2013, National Beef recalled about 22,955 pounds for possible E. coli. On August 1, 2013, it recalled about 50,062 pounds more. In August 2007, Cargill Meat Solutions in Butler, Wisconsin, recalled about 845,000 pounds of frozen patties. The patties were sold through Sam's Club after 3 people in Minnesota were linked to that beef. JBS has paid $52.5 million to settle one price-fixing case. A lean ammonia-treated filler can make a blend cheaper and leaner on the label. The cheapest way to fill a huge contract at scale is to use it. The legal shield that actually blocks that filler is not natural but USDA certified organic, which is a certification, not a slogan. The seal means the animal was raised on certified organic pasture for the full grazing season, and the animal needs free access to pasture. The land must have no synthetic fertilizers, no sewage sludge, and no genetically engineered crops for 3 years. The animal receives no antibiotics and no added hormones. The feed is certified organic and contains no animal byproducts, and that is checked by on-farm audits. The Organic Foods Production Act says no synthetic substance may be used in handling unless it is on the national list of allowed synthetics. Ammonium hydroxide is not on that list for organic handling, so it is not allowed. The National Organic Program sets that list with advice from the National Organic Standards Board. Because of that rule, organic ground beef cannot contain ammonia-treated lean, finely textured beef and still keep the seal. The trade is money and access, and organic ground beef runs about $7 to $8 a pound in stores. Conventional 80% lean in March averaged near $6.70 a pound in city data, so you pay about $1 more. Brands that carry the seal include 365 Organic at Whole Foods and Kirkland's Signature Organic Ground Beef at Costco, and both list one ingredient: beef. Go to Bluffton, Georgia, where pastures replaced row crops and cattle moved to fresh grass every day while chickens follow the cattle. The farm is White Oak Pastures, where the family raises the animals and slaughters them in its own USDA-inspected abattoir on the farm. The same crew butchers the meat, packs it, and ships it from the farm. The website says vertical integration means all functions are kept at White Oak Pastures. There is no distant fulfillment center and no anonymous blend from 4 states. And the box that leaves the farm carries one EST. That EST is theirs. If a problem appears, they know which pasture the animal grazed that morning, while the cut room is small and the trace is short. You may not order from White Oak, and the beef costs about $12 a pound plus shipping, and it sells out often. The point is not the price, but the distance from pasture to package. So picture the difference in your kitchen. One tray with an EST points to one farm in Georgia. One tray with no EST points to a binder in the back room, while both say ground beef. Only one can tell you which field. For a normal store, run the safe bets are on record. And in 2012, major chains answered ABC News in writing. Craig Wilson, Vice President of Quality Assurance for Costco, said anything sold at Costco must have a clear origin. He said he did not know how to explain trim treated with ammonia in Costco ground beef, and Costco has never used it. Publix said we have never allowed the use of LFTB in our meat, and it is 100% ground beef with no LFTB. HEB said all our ground beef sold at HEB is 100% pure with no additives, and Whole Foods said the same. Its 365 organic line carries the seal that bars the process entirely. Those are part of 8 options that can say 100% without an asterisk. The ones that cannot guarantee it share a pattern. Any package that says beef patties instead of ground beef can legally contain added water, soy, and binders. Examples include Flanders beef patties with beef, water, beef hearts, and textured soy flour. Some Members Mark and Great Value beef patties sold as beef patties also fall in that group. Some frozen food service patties at mass retailers fall in that bucket. Any tray ground in store without an EST points only to a log. Any natural ground beef without the organic seal does not block the ammonia process. Your check takes 4 seconds, so turn the package, find the circle with EST, and find the words. Ground beef should list beef and maybe seasoning and nothing else, while beef patties may list water and soy and hearts. Organic bars the ammonia process and natural does not. An EST on the package means the plant is on the package. No EST means the trail lives in a binder, so keep those 4 checks at the case. In 2012, shoppers forced schools to offer a choice between ground beef with and without the trimmings. In December 2018, the rule let the trimmings share the name ground beef without a separate line. The next price spike will push more of the lean trimmings into the blend because the label rewards lean at the lowest cost. The water in a cheap beef patty will look like a bargain again. The question that stays open is not whether you can find 100% beef, because you can. You can find it in the same aisle at Publix, at Costco, at H-E-B, and at Whole Foods. The question is whether the rule that lets the other box share the same name will stay.